What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Friday Night Live, the place where we go to talk about all things attention. How do we get traffic to all of the messages, the missions, the movements that we're working on in a noisy marketplace? That's what we talk about here, and that's what we do damn well. And today we are joined with the ever so amazing Lloyd Dodgen, he's earned it, the YouTube ads guy. He gets the before the thing. It's pretty badass. Lloyd, we were actually just talking about this, that we kind of came up together and the same kind of class, so to speak. How did you arrive at becoming the YouTube ads guy? Because I know this story, but I would like our audience to know this story.
So this has been a long process of a lot of trial and error, a lot of different business ideas, 15 different business attempts and failures of things that I was working on. And over time, each of those business attempts ended up providing me with a new set of skills. And those new set of skills kept, leaning into the next business and into the next business. Until I got to the point where I was kind of working on a bit of an agency model, and I was doing Facebook ads and I was doing social media posting and saw a lot of that. And I ended up having a friend who was a cinematographer, and they were filming beautiful homes, $30 million homes. And they were making these $5,000 videos for this real estate agency and getting like 100 views. And so they asked me, they're like, hey, can you help us, to get a lot more promotion and content, producing ads, for these homes to hopefully they sell. And can you also help us get more views on YouTube? And so at the time I was like, every entrepreneur, when they're doing things in the beginning, the answer is yes. And I started helping them out and starting to figure out YouTube ads in order to help create promotion for the videos themselves. And within a couple of months of, getting several thousand views to some of these videos, we're able to actually end up selling one of these $30 million homes. And I was like, okay, maybe there's something here. And as a result of that, with that interest and that curiosity peaked, I just started finding myself more and more in love with the YouTube ads platform than I did Facebook, to the degree where I had shed everything else from my business, where I stopped being a we can do everything for you agency, and shifting into a model where let's get really dangerously good at YouTube ads and only focus on this. And that's how the advent of the YouTube ads guy was kind of born. I mean, there's more to the story than that, which is a lot of fun. And I can share that if we want to dig into it. But that's how I got into YouTube ads. It all started on a request and ended up becoming a passion.
So now, how do you go from that to where you are now? It's like we were talking the other day. You've got some wonderful clients.
Yeah.
And you have some great stats now to back you up. How do you go from I'm taking amazing videos of really high-end houses to now I'm helping entrepreneurs and marketers to level up their YouTube game?
Yeah, so a lot of it was, one, documenting every single win that I had. The second that I was able to get, what I considered a fantastic result, we were able to maybe get 5x ROAS, or we're able to, spend $100,000 for a client and continuously get them under $5 leads for a live event, when before they were getting $20 and $30 leads. Every single time I just kept documenting that process to leverage in the next step. The next thing that I think is probably more crucial than anything else, and I think a lot of people kind of forget this, when you're doing the reason my businesses failed in the beginning is because I did everything in a silo. I was a man on an island and nobody was around me. And it's kind of hard to build a business that way. And it's kind of hard to get attention towards your business when you're just, so subjugated to yourself. And so I had joined a business mastermind, and I had joined a lot of other programs and interacted like Funnel Hacking Live and 2CCX and, some of Steve Larson's old stuff. And you name it, I was putting myself into the conversation where everybody was talking about YouTube ads. And once I started participating in this one mastermind with my business mentor Rachel Peterson, like that really helped me out a lot, because I was able to share my results, and then everybody else was able to get out there and say like, hey, let's rep Lloyd, you know, because he's clearly showing results. Like now when anybody talks about YouTube ads, I've got this army of people that are always repping me. And I think that is like so important, because word of mouth, like all advertising, all social media, everything that we do in marketing is simply just word of mouth. It's just another way of doing word of mouth. You know, whether it's people repping you, whether it's a video, you know, you communicating, it's always trying to stay top of mind. And so that for me was like one of the biggest game changers in my business, was getting in a community of like-minded individuals that helped put me out there and help promote me to become who I am today, to build the business that I have today. People who put their belief in me, and then me go in and start doing the work in order to validate that belief.
So fantastic, man. Absolutely. And we got Sales Ninja up here. What's up, Sales Ninja? He was trying to karate me. Yeah, man. I've seen you go through the path, and of course, always jump on it whenever I can. You know, Lloyd Dodgen is the YouTube ads guy. I always stress the too, because I feel like you earned it. So you got it. Yeah, man. So today we're talking about customer journey is our main topic today. And I know you had some things that you'd like to talk about based around ads. So I want to give you that opportunity as well to talk, in particular, YouTube ads. We are big fans of YouTube here at the show. We believe that the future is YouTube. It got my attention really big when YouTube said, oh, we see a gap with Twitch. We're going to take all that crap. And what they did is, like, Twitch is a very tight-knit community, amazing place. They have their own wording, their own language, and it's amazing. But they want you there forever. They don't want you leaving. They don't want you to link out. They don't want you to do anything but be on Twitch from sun up to sundown. Now, YouTube saw that, and they go, okay, well, we're going to take some of the things that's working, and we're going to toss out the rest. They implemented it, and there was like an exodus from Twitch, from all these really, really big names.
Yeah, with like Ninja and a lot of those other peeps.
Yeah, I took notice. I was like, oh my God, all these people that I used to appreciate on Twitch are like, hey, we're abandoning our 100,000 audience, or in some cases, millions, and we're going to YouTube. I was like, whoa, now that gets my attention. When someone bags an audience like that and just shifts and pivots, you have my attention.
You know, to that end, I will say, did they really, abandon their audience? And no. So
no, they didn't.
They built the notoriety, they built the brand, and all they were doing was just transferring the platform, because the ecosystem wasn't working for them. But people ended up liking who they were to the degree of building a whole career. So now it was just shifting a platform. So it's like in a lot of ways, with the golden handcuffs they had, it was a very smart business decision.
I also saw a beautiful increase in what we were seeing in the streaming world and the live streaming and video content in general on the YouTube platform when Mixer closed down. Because the difference between what made Mixer beautiful, I love Mixer because I built this community of over 1,000 people in 6 weeks. It was incredible because the difference, Twitch is very much leaning towards gaming. Mixer was about community. It was about connecting. It was about so much more. And it was a place that had so much more potential for people who wanted to use the technology for their businesses, to link out, to, as you were mentioning, to do all of that, to build those communities inside and outside of the platform. And I miss it so much. But we can bring it back on the YouTube.
Well, it is interesting now that essentially what started out as search, YouTube is search. It still is search, but them injecting social components now
Well, actually,
with,
YouTube started off as
and
dating.
community, and now they're even taking shopping and putting it in there. You told me something really cool just the other day, is that now you can have a live stream and you can pop up your Shopify product.
Yep. You can list your entire Shopify store
here
in your YouTube channel now.
Right here.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, I mean, they're making really, really big moves, like Amazon big moves. You know, like when Amazon bought out Grubhub or whatever it was. What was it? They bought out one of those food places.
Yeah, they bought out Grubhub.
Yeah. That was a big move. You know, that's something that could shake industries. And YouTube is big enough now to where they can do that.
Amazon just bought iRobot, those Roomba vacuums.
They bought the Roomba. Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for like $1.something billion. Yeah.
Well,
Just heard that tonight.
Interesting. I actually have not a Roomba. I have a knockoff. I have an iMartine. And we joke around.
I thought you were going to say an iMartini.
iMartine likes to clean. And the kids love it. They have, it's like a little personality that they've given to it.
Do the dogs love it? That's the question.
The cat loves it, because we'll tape one of those like little feather things on it and just let it do its thing. And the cat is obsessed. So free gift to all of you out there that have one of those and a cat. Enjoy.
But I was saying,
now back to the show.
When you're talking about YouTube starting like with search and everything, I mean, YouTube's original origins was actually for dating.
Yeah,
you're so right. I always forget that. You're absolutely right.
They built it to be a video platform for dating and then pivoted.
Wow,
that's crazy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Shout out to people watching. We got James Havis in the audience. We got Kaya. We've got Luke. We've got Josh Centers, who actually came on and talked about Facebook ads. So I love that we're, getting a little more rounded look at the ads with having you on today, Lloyd. I love it. And Tuan, thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you more than you ever know. So let's get into it a little bit, right? So customer journey is is the overreaching topic of today. So that can be organic lead in, that can be an ad lead in, that can be referral word of mouth. So today, with you being on here, I would like to address Google ads, YouTube ads in particular. So for those that are watching out there, generally our audience are new business owners, people trying to get attention quickly. So what would you recommend for someone that's, say, a common thing, like I'm a funnel builder, let's say, and I'm new on the scene. I kick butt making funnels. I make funnels that make people cry. They're so gorgeous, but no one knows I exist. Where would you start with this person?
Well, it depends on the speed that you want. If you're wanting to go short, or longer distance, long-term play, you need to start building a YouTube channel, and you need to start basically building out content that answers questions and long-form searchable content. And you need to do that consistently enough over time in order to basically get in front of the right people and build that audience that eventually leads into your funnels that are working. Fast way is obviously through paid media. For anybody that's running, ads there, you've got your low hanging fruit, which, you probably do something like Google PPC ads, and you're doing something for like anybody looking for funnel builder, anybody actually who does know about you, who is kind of, after they've had a conversation or seen you, going back, retargeting your name, your brand, whatever it might be. And then the other way is obviously through YouTube ads and creating, there's different ways that you can create YouTube ads for that. You could either go mass volume, and that's usually through like a cost per view campaign. And you're probably doing something where you're maybe teaching, or you're actually promoting your YouTube channel in a question that you have. So you might have an FAQ, and you might know the most valuable question that, that people continue to ask in one of your videos that converts the most on terms of your YouTube channel. You could run what's called a discovery ad. And I probably am talking way too fast right now for all this, but you could do what's called a discovery ad. And a discovery ad is a different form of a YouTube ad, but it's actually in YouTube on the very top. So when people search for a specific thing, your video and your actual thumbnail, title, description, all of that pops up like it would be any other YouTube video. That would be the most easiest way to kind of get your foot in the door to start talking about the things that you do and get more attention to what it is that you do. That's what I would do. I would build my YouTube channel, and then I would run, small $5 per day campaigns back to my videos on discovery content. And that way I would help build my channel and help build my visibility more.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna put you a little on the spot here, Lloyd.
Go for it.
If you're able to share your computer, I think it'd be beneficial for people to just, if you could point out, this is what this kind of ad is. Like just to open up a standard YouTube and say, that's what this is, that's what this is, that's what this is. And when I was talking about discovery, this is what I meant. This is what I meant. Just to kind of give people a layout, right? Because I feel like everyone knows Facebook ads at this point, right? Mm-hmm. And especially in ClickFunnels, everyone's probably ran Facebook ads for local businesses or chiropractors or whatever. 3-4 years ago, that was it. Run Facebook ads for chiropractors, make a buttload of money, retire early. Like that was the thing. So now that we're getting into Google ads have been around for a good long time.
Yeah.
It's still really reasonably priced. From everything I've experienced, I would love to hear your opinion on that. And just to refer back to what you were talking about, like, I would run this to this and that, just to kind of give like a layout. That's all.
Yeah. So with what you said about being reasonably priced, I think reasonably priced is always relative to the warmth of the person that you're trying to reach. So if anybody's ever studied marketing, there are 5 levels of awareness. There's completely unaware. They don't know they have a problem, and they certainly don't know that there is a product or solution out there. Then you've got a person who's at least problem aware, but may not know like what's going on, like what if there's a solution at all. You've got a person who now is problem aware and solution aware. They know that there's like stuff out there. Then they become product aware, and then they become aware of you. And so you've got these varying degrees of awareness. And so the reason why I think YouTube and Google ads are so incredibly valuable is because you have intent. And that's the one thing that's kind of difficult with Facebook. It's not impossible, depending on there's a lot of clever people who are able to build great intent. And then the AI of Facebook is obviously phenomenal for a lot of different reasons. But at least you have control over the intent of what it is that you're trying to do with your Google ads. I'm going to just share my screen, and then we'll do this really quickly. Can you guys see my YouTube? Can you see my screen?
Yes, indeed.
Great. I'm asking a question: how to SEO my website. Classic question that a lot of people ask all the time. Tons of potential searches for it. You'll notice that mine is a little bit different because I have other third-party integrations like Keywords Everywhere. I have TubeBuddy, vidIQ, a lot of other tools that I leverage. But I know that if someone's asking how to SEO my website, they're probably trying to figure out how to rank on Google. These guys here are automatically, these are the in-stream, or not the in-stream, but the discovery ads I was talking about. They're doing theirs a little bit different, where they've got more like, it looks like an ad. But you can actually have yours where it looks exactly like thumbnail, title, description, and everything. But the whole goal is, I know that if someone's typing this in, SEO for your website, done. Think with Google. YouTube advertising. Let's see if anybody's popping up any type of ads here. So this looks like it would be, like this is YouTube ads, or youtube.com/ads. So they keep it kind of like a thumbnail. They keep it, where it's got a title. But we'll go back to how to SEO. And then we've got in-stream ads. So if we click on this video, almost guaranteed that there's going to be an ad on it. This is an in-stream ad right here. Now, there are different versions of in-stream ads. There are bumpers, which this is a bumper ad. It's about 10 seconds. I can't skip it. It's just going to happen. And then you've got your typical in-stream ads where you do have control over it, over 5 seconds.
In today's video,
and you're able to like watch the video, click on a link, and then if you want to skip after 5 seconds, you can always skip after 5 seconds. So that's an in-stream ad. So those are your two kinds of ads that you have within YouTube. You have your discovery ad, which is going to be within the search, and then you have your in-stream ads, which are going to be within the actual video themselves. Both have different kinds of ways that you're paying. So with a discovery ad, you're paying for the click, but with an in-stream ad, you're actually paying for the impression itself, depending on how you're setting up your ad. A lot of people in the past would talk about YouTube ads and be like, oh, you don't have to pay until after the first 30 seconds. And that's like half true. YouTube ads, if you're doing what's called a cost per view campaign, which you're actually in the Google Ads platform, you're setting up the type of bidding strategy that you want to target. You can set up what's called a CPV campaign. And so that is where after 30 seconds, you pay for it because I'm telling Google, I would like to pay for the view, the cost per view. And then there's other different types of bidding strategies. One is called max conversions, which you're telling Google, hey, here's my budget. Please get me as many conversions as possible with this given budget for the specific targeting. And then you've got target CPA, which is you're telling Google, I would like with this budget to try to get people for $10 in acquisition or $10 in action. And then you define the action. Most people define the action as acquiring a lead or acquiring a sale. And then it uses its algorithm to try to figure that out, as to if they can or not.
This is awesome. I am super pumped about this, and it looks like the audience is digging it. Tammy Fink, thank you so much for watching. She's watching while she's out on the town tonight, so thank you for doing that. Appreciate that. Stay safe. Hope you're not driving. Yeah. So excellent. Yeah, I think that was a nice overview. Allowing people just to see kind of what's possible. And then referring back to what you were talking about before, kind of using some discovery, getting just like is it appropriate to say that's like more of like a buckshot approach, like bigger, wider net?
You have a couple of ways that you can do it. You could go buckshot. You can always go no targeting, or I can target the exact keywords, phrases that I wanted to rank for on that YouTube video anyways. If I know the question I'm trying to rank for, I can actually go target that specific keyword and run my ads against that. You do have things like topics, which are more buckshot, which are things that are getting more variable. Like, so in YouTube or in the Google Ads platform, Google is always grouping you based on the things that you do, based on the websites you go, based on the way you purchase, based on the searches you have, based on the YouTube videos you're watching, based on how your emails, your storage, you name it. They're putting you always into these categories, and these categories they call topics. So if I'm into surfing and I'm looking up stuff about surfing, and I'm always going to surfing websites, and on my phone I'm searching on Google Maps for surfing locations and everything, I'm probably, if I decide to pick the surfing topic, I'm going to hit people that are generally, getting in the realm of surfing. Then there's a different kind of ad which gets into what we're talking about with like this more buckshot approach, where you're getting a little bit wider of a range. This narrows it down just a little bit more, and it's called in-market ads. And in-market ads are very interesting because they're paying attention to your search history. And so you're going to get married. What are you going to start doing? Well, you start looking for wedding dresses, and you start looking for wedding venues, and you start looking for wedding flowers. And Google goes, you haven't been searching for anything related to weddings ever. And now you're starting to search for it. So they take that past 2 weeks of history and they consider you being quote unquote in market. So you can target people with those ads that are in the market. Let's say if you're a car repair shop, they're in the market in the past 2 weeks for a repair on, a specific, 1976, Dodge, whatever. And you have a video that kind of talks about your process of fixing these specific kind of cars. And the call to action is you basically getting people to come into your store. So you can target those individuals that are in market for that in that location that you have and have your YouTube video served there. Or you can just take that same video, do an in-stream, and have more of a direct response type of ad that you're like, hey, this is what I do. This is what you're looking for. And you should come over to our store and we'll be able to do all these things for you.
Nice.
It's very creepy how much Google knows about you.
Well, I remember it was really interesting.
Facebook is always listening, but Google's paying attention to every keystroke.
True.
And if anybody says that Facebook's not listening, they're not listening.
I remember like some stuff with Facebook was really creepy a ways back, and it's still real creepy. But like geofencing.
Yeah.
So as an example, we were talking about how to get the children of elderly people that are coming to the age where they need to enter into assisted living.
Mm-hmm.
How do we get their attention? And I remember I came up with the idea, which was admittedly a creepy ass idea, but I isolated the hospital in the unit where they make the determination that they can no longer live by themselves. And I excluded all workers from the ad. So what's left?
Yep.
The kids of the elderly parents. The ad killed it. It rocked. I also had a lot of hate mail of people being like, this is the worst possible time to get this. But there were also people that were like, wow, it's like it was meant to be. You were literally talking to me at the very moment at which we're making this decision.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was like 8-9 years ago. Yeah. But is there stuff like that, like ninja kind of stuff that you can do in YouTube ads? I've always wondered that about it.
So you can target definitely by geolocation. Geofencing isn't really like that much of a thing anymore, but you can still we worked with like realtors to basically geofarm locations and neighborhoods, and they would run their YouTube ads to people in that location, speak the language of the people in that location, talk about their expertise, talk about the changing markets, stay relevant, so that anybody because YouTube has the capacity to know if you're in the market for buying a home, if you're looking to move, like they know these things. And so you can actually choose those options within the targeting to look at people who are actually looking to sell, who are actually looking to buy a new home, who are actually looking to move. And you can serve up your video ads in those markets to those people and kind of dominate the space, especially if you're doing the typical type of geo farming, which is paper. So now you've got paper being put out, in front of everybody. Then you've got your signs and everything else. And all of a sudden, now they're looking for it. And here's your video while they have your flyer in their hand. So yeah, you can do a lot of ninja stuff like that. You can still target people's income. I know that's kind of like, a thing that has been kind of blacklisted to a certain degree on Facebook. You can still target people's income to a certain degree. And like I said, the thing about it is because they know every single keystroke that you have, they know everything you purchase. I mean, they know what you watching on YouTube. They know everything. That typically, I mean, if someone's changing the way that they do things over the past 2 weeks, they know that, and they know now it's time to serve up, Toyota Corolla ads, because they've been looking for Toyota Corollas and different type of Toyotas in different years. It's definitely a very creepy world we live in, but I mean, it's also very profitable.
Here's an interesting thought that we have coming up. Funnel Hacking Live's coming up.
Yes.
So I've seen a lot of people really take advantage of these large congregations of potentially ideal customers.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to get your opinion on, are you going?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love that event. It's so much fun.
Fantastic. And B, if someone's going and they're an unknown, what's something they can do to take advantage of the people at the event that would be a fun idea that we could maybe workshop? Because I'm going, I'll be there, Lloyd, and I will give you a big, obnoxious hug. And because I'm a hugger, sorry for your luck. I'm a hugger. But it'd be interesting to run an experiment while we're there, to just try something and like actually chronicle, and watch that journey of, was it a dud? Was it not? In either way, here it is.
I know a lot of people did a lot of Facebook ads to people that were attending Funnel Hacking Live. Couple of years, like last year, I saw that, and then obviously 2019, I had seen that. But I think so one of the ideas that I was having for Funnel Hacking Live was to put together, a bit of a mastermind and get some agency experts together and teach, like in the afternoon or in the morning or the day before or the day after. And so one of my thoughts was actually running YouTube ads in order to actually invite people who are at, Funnel Hacking Live, who are in the vicinity of that actual location, who have actually visited the ClickFunnels website, and done certain other type of searches, and have them, have an invite in order to come to our, private event where it is that we're teaching on, things that agencies are doing for businesses in the market.
I like that.
Or you could look like Dan Henry and have a QR code on the back of your shirt.
Also, everyone wants to talk to Dan, right? So everyone wants to chit chat with Dan. He's a nice little controversial character, depending on which side of the fence you fall. Either way, you know about him.
Yeah.
I am a fan of Dan Henry. I actually ended up purchasing one of his ads programs way back when, and it was one of the things that was the foundation for my agency.
Yeah.
And then I found Billy Jean, and it was game over from there.
Yeah. Billy was definitely the foundation for me taking my first steps with YouTube ads.
Yeah, actually, no, Billy came first. Then I bought Dan's and realized I should have just stuck with Billy's. But Dan's stuff was pretty good.
Yeah.
So I can't knock it. It was solid. It did what it had to do. But I was drawn to the persona of Dan more than his stuff.
Mm-hmm. He
has a great persona, and I imagine that behind closed doors, that's not Dan.
Yeah,
I imagine he turns it up to 11. For all of you out there that are currently hanging out with Dan Henry, let me know, what's he like right now?
Yeah, as we are right now, even on this is this is us, but it's also a different version of us, versus what we do behind closed doors.
Yeah.
I assume
I always say it's still us. It's just turned up.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. This transforms. This is like a Batman. This is what you transform.
What's that, John?
This is the Batcave. You transform at night into like the colors and everything. But during the day, it's like, well, I'm doing something. At least that's my case as a working professional. It's like, okay, well, we're going to be talking about software today, and right, like it's
right.
But this is definitely the case. You want to have that flexibility in how you present yourself online. I was just going to say, Lloyd, I really like what you've done. I think it looks really, really good. And
yeah, I'm an avid reader. I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I love Star Wars and everything else. And there's my brand. And I just found some stuff that kind of represented me.
Me, right? And, exactly.
Awesome.
HoloLenses, cinematography, drones. There's a Mario holding a lightsaber. Like, yeah.
Totally Mario holding a light. I forgot about that one. I love that.
I totally agree.
Mario holding a lightsaber. That's amazing. Awesome. So let's talk about some more of the customer journey. So we see the ad.
Mhm.
So now what do we want them to do next? What's the next? What is the ad trying to actually sell? Is it to get them to a website? Is it to subscribe? Is it across the board? Like if someone's just going for awareness, I imagine it'd probably be like a like and subscribe thing, like
Yeah.
hang out a while, right? Go
Yeah,
watch some of our other videos, stay a while.
So if you're trying to build up your YouTube channel, it is then definitely, you've always got to think like your ad has one thing to do and one thing only, to get people to take the next action. It's your job then to determine if that action is the right action depending on where they are along the journey. So if they're completely cold, but you know that they're having these types of questions, then maybe the next action is to watch one of your videos. And then you can catalog the fact that someone has actually watched one of your videos within YouTube. I can target people who have watched my videos. And then I can make a determination of running another video that maybe, hey, you've enjoyed my stuff. I think it's time to subscribe, you know?
Sure.
And then from the subscription, then it's like, hey, like let's get a little bit further down the road and let's start getting a click. And then let's start getting an opt-in. And everything else, it goes from like your softest KPIs to your hard KPIs, from the impression to the sale.
Makes sense.
So you just got to figure out where that person is along the customer journey, where you are along what it is that you're trying to ask for them, and then what the next step is. So if you are doing stuff where like, and at the end of the day, like if you are doing a strategy where you're doing a discovery ad and the goal is to get people to click to watch the video, your mission after that click is to provide as much value as possible. If you're doing awareness, you want to wow them. You want to make sure that they know that they are listening to someone who gets their problem, is an expert in what they do, and has a solution potentially. Whether they take that solution, that's part of the journey. Nobody's going to take the solution right out of the gate.
Makes sense. So now, like something we're doing with Joshua Centers, who is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't talked with Joshua, I will definitely connect you to. He is the Facebook side of what you do. But he focuses mostly on lead magnets and lead generation as a whole, less on the YouTube ad part and just more like, this is how you get leads, which is great. We call them Mr. Leads.
Yeah.
And so we're doing several campaigns that we are running that under his advisement, and people were taking the lead magnet like crazy, but they weren't joining the Facebook group. So now we're making adjustments to that. And, we have a new program that is about to drop hopefully in the near future, which is the summer camp version of Live Academy. And so we're always looking for other ways to get attention, because that's what we do here. Live shows do amazing for us. It's the whole reason I exist online. So that's close to my heart always. VSLs. I make tons of VSLs for people that make them 7 figures, 8 figures.
Yeah.
And any kind of short form content, Lefteris, who is not here tonight, but he's another one of the hosts of the show. He talks about short form content and how that's a land grab right now in a big way. And John talks about how to make yourself look so very professional, so that way the minute you show up on camera, you have people's attention.
Yep.
So attention's always on our mind. And Molly comes from that background as well. She's made so many live shows for people and given so much attention on a local level and for larger corporate people. And even in the e-commerce world, she's worked with that and had great success. So attention is always at the forefront of what we talk about, just to kind of really bring it back in. And we're running that with Joshua for lead magnet. So if you were trying to get people to take a lead magnet, what do you think an approach would be for that, as opposed to the just watch my channel?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, we are running ads to basically make sales. That's our goal. We are running ads to get enough impressions to become, enough clicks, to become enough opt-ins, to become enough sales. And so Now, when it comes to doing for lead magnets, I think Facebook's probably better for that than it is with YouTube.
Interesting.
I think that if you are to run YouTube ads and you're to run in-stream YouTube ads, you've got to think of where people are, in the moment. And I think it's always better to run to either a VSL or a webinar when you're running your YouTube ads, because people are in the mode of consumption. They've already sat down and watched that video. They've been watching dozens of videos. Now you're asking them to watch one more video, and in that you can pitch whatever it is that you need to go pitch. Analytic insanity. Yeah.
Steve, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you. Yeah, analytic insanity for sure. But that'll bring us to the next topic, is KPIs and how to know when to hold them, when to fold them, right? But see, it's interesting. You said lead magnets, not the best for YouTube. Okay.
Yeah, I have noticed that when I try something that's very static, like going straight to a book call, or if I go straight to a lead magnet, typically it does not convert. But if I'm asking people to see the secret on the other end, which is a video or a webinar, like a VSL or a webinar, they're basically the same thing, just length of time and live or not. But I've noticed that typically works better than anything else when it comes to YouTube ads.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So then that brings us back to Kelvin.
Well, Jim.
Thank you, Kelvin.
Jim, that means we're gonna have to make our VSL.
I mean, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. Let's just do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys, that's what you guys do, so it's going to be no problem.
Let's just do it.
VSO.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know if you've had the chance to check out Molly's stuff yet, Lloyd. Do you guys know each other before this?
No.
I'm the one with the robotic voice from earlier. Hi.
That is a fact, yes. And she now has a
I would
cartoon
have never
face.
guessed.
She has an
tiny head.
She has started an absolutely incredible YouTube channel before I arrived on the scene and partnered with her for visibility hacking. And the channel's incredible. She does tons of research trying to figure out what our ideal audience is into and what they're wanting to know, what they're looking for right now.
Yeah.
And she creates weekly videos for them that are incredible. I think they're absolutely amazing. And she also has 3 live shows rocking right now on the Facebook page. That also goes out to YouTube as well, doesn't it, Molly?
It sure does.
It sure does. So
she figures out how to it's like scatter shot, Jim. It shatters into smaller fragments.
She's
on
a box
all
of chocolates.
It goes everywhere. It's
you
like
never know what
Facebook.
you're gonna get. Awesome. All right, so as far as KPIs go, so which I'm going to start, by the way, Lloyd, under your guidance, hopefully as well. I'd love to see what we can work out to start getting some more attention on the YouTube channel. I think that would be a really fun experiment to run, so I will do it. But let's say we're running the discovery ads for video views, which I think is a good idea. How do we know when to stop it, when to revisit it, when to revamp, when to double down? What does it look like in comparison? Not even comparison, just what does it look like on YouTube ads?
Yeah, so I think that when it comes to the discovery ad thing that we were talking about, that really is what's my budget and how much am I willing to spend continuously to just get attention? So, and you know whether you've got good enough attention based on your percentage of clicks, your click-through rate. Typically speaking, any good video on YouTube that's worth, its weight in gold, at least has a 4% click-through rate. That's for a discovery ad. And you're kind of looking for the same metric when you're looking for that discovery ad. Now, whether you're doing an in-stream ad and you're trying to get it to, some sort of event or some sort of offer that you're trying to pitch with an in-stream ad, you're looking for a 1 to 3% click-through rate. That's pretty typical across the board. If you're getting less than a 1% click-through rate, you need to change up your hook, is really what it boils down to. your hook is not attaching with what people are with what you're saying, and people aren't getting far enough into the video. They're hitting that skip button to even hear what your message is all about. So 9 times out of 10, it's just you got to change up that hook. And when you get to that 1 to 3% range, like the closer you get to 3%, that's where things get pretty ideal. As far as other KPIs, I look for there's a thing called view rate, which I'm looking for how many people are viewing based on how many impressions I'm getting. And I like to stay, close to 20%. That means 1 out of every 5 people are actually paying attention to my video long enough to at least start hearing my offer. That's that 30-second mark. If you start getting less than 10%, you know that you're not connecting with people at all. Or if you start getting, I've seen people like 40% view rates, you're connecting with too many people. That means that's how you kind of know.
There's a such thing as too much connection.
Well, if you think about it, like all of a sudden, if I'm talking to everybody, I'm talking to nobody.
Okay.
And if everybody's just sitting around watching my ad, but no one's clicking, and I'm getting a ton of visibility on it, but no one actually is doing anything with it, I don't care about that, especially when I'm trying to get the algorithm to work in my favor, which the thing that I'm trying to optimize for is obviously my opt-ins and my sales. I'm not trying to optimize for people just to, to watch, in mass.
Absolutely.
So I think that the 2 most important KPIs and then obviously you need to look at your cost per click and you need to look at your cost per lead. Really, anybody can look at an ad, and after a few days, when you spend some money, you look and you go like, well, what's my cost per lead? That is twice as much as I should be spending. Turn that off, But if you're staying within the KPIs that you're allotting for yourself, then everything is fine. Like, you've got to know the thing about business, and everybody gets it, especially when you start getting in advertising, and you've got to know your numbers. Most important, thing in the entire world. You've got to know, what is it that I'm capable of spending to acquire a potential lead, attention for them? And then, like, how much am I able to spend to acquire them into a customer? How many leads is it going to take before I get, to get a book call? How many book calls do I need before I can actually get people to make a purchase? And then reverse engineer your numbers from there. The things that you can look at from the ad side, like we talked about, is your cost per click, your click-through rate, and your view rate. Those 3 metrics are the easiest to look at. If you know that you can only acquire a customer at $5 a lead and you're spending $2.50 a click, that means you got 2 clicks before you get a lead. That's not going to work.
Right.
That's just not going to work, because I'm almost guaranteed you don't have a 50% opt-in rate on your funnel. You probably have like a 30% opt-in rate on your funnel, which means 1 out of every 3 people. So ideally, if you're trying to get that $5 lead, you need like $1.50, $1.75 a click at most in order to break even on that. So it's really just understanding your numbers and reverse engineering what's necessary. But like I said, you have your 1 to 3%, and then you're around 20% for your view rate. And those you can at least tell, like, is my video connecting with the right people?
Mm-hmm. And you brought up an interesting stat when we were talking about, I forget what the naming was, but it was essentially if they watch one video and they watch another video and more videos, that is that a KPI as well? Or is that just something
that is a YouTube KPI, and it's called AVPV, and it's average views per viewer. And everybody that's building a YouTube channel should go back into the YouTube analytics and look this up. Most people are always focused on the views, and they're always focused on their click-through rate and their view rate. And those are great. Those are good numbers. I should see how long someone's watched my video on my YouTube channel. Obviously, you want to get to 40, 50%. And I should be looking at my click-through rates. We should be above 3 or 4% on that. But YouTube, remember what we were talking about, YouTube isn't finding people to show your video in front of. Rather, they're looking at this person and finding the right video to serve to them. They're looking at that person. They're not looking at you and your video. So and also they want people to stay on as long as possible. If the typical view duration is 40 minutes, all of a sudden you think about a 5 to 15 minute video, that's anywhere from 4 to 8 potential ads that they can see within that 40 minute window that they're going to get paid on. So there's a metric called AVPV, which is your average videos per view. So if I'm watching a video, am I likely to watch another video and another video? Most people are around like a 1, to 1.2. Like they're usually getting one video and then someone leaves their channel. The channels that get real virality on their YouTube channel are the ones that are getting 2, 3, 4, and even more. The people who are like watching their stuff and watching more stuff. So when we were talking about that discovery ad strategy, I would probably link it to a video that's going to be linked up to a playlist. So they watch that video, and now they have a chance to watch 2 or 3 or 4 more videos that I have. Because you want people to watch as many of your videos as possible before they ever click. I know Sean Cannell has a statistic that he uses, because you want to get people to continue to watch your stuff. So he was talking about like 1 out of every 10 videos has, a click, to go outside of YouTube. I don't think that statistic is good for business owners, because we don't need a lot of subscribership and a lot of view rate in order to make money. We're typically building our YouTube channel because we're trying to generate leads. And if we have a good enough funnel, all we need is, a few hundred clicks that become, a few hundred leads that become a few hundred sales.
Exactly correct. Yeah.
Versus depending on AdSense for as our business model or sponsorships.
Well said. So and I mean, like Mr. Beast, I know I'm on his channel. I'll watch like 10 of those damn things.
Exactly. Because he knows.
I just got to see one, and then I go down the rabbit hole.
Video. And that's the reason he goes so viral. When people watch it, he knows how to keep your attention right at the beginning of the video, because he's done thousands of videos, and he has other friends that have done thousands of videos, and their friends have done it, and they're always talking to each other. So he knows something as simple as basic as, if the intro shot is dark versus the intro shot being bright, you're going to keep people on if the intro shot is brighter and the way that it's lit. Like, you will keep people longer in the video. But the only way he found that out was doing enough videos and testing out something as weird as, how well lit is my first shot? And so he knows how to keep people on throughout an entire video and get people to want to watch another video and another video and another video. And when you have a 28-minute video and people are watching it and there's 3 or 4 ads that are being served at that, YouTube's going to be like, yeah, let's get this guy in front of more people.
Absolutely. Dustin Valkyrie, watching the audience, has a YouTube channel, so I knew that I wanted to tag him for this. He talks about composite photography, which is just one of the coolest dang things ever. And he's such a gifted artist just as a whole. But what he'll do is he'll do the shoot of a person, and then he'll immerse them in this other world that he's created in 3D. And then he combines the two and then makes it all look the same in Photoshop using a myriad of tools. Mm-hmm. But the end result is like, you could have someone shot in a, like, even if it's a cheesy Batman costume, and then he can put the 3D Batmobile behind you in a burning city and make you look like you just stepped out of Nolan's frame. Like, it's amazing. He's incredible. Yep. But he has a YouTube channel talking about this stuff. So I think that I'd be remiss if I didn't at least give him a little nod.
We'll have to check out that channel.
Yeah. Dustin Valkyrie.
I've been talking to Dustin this week. We've been hanging out, Jim. He is an absolute rock star when it comes to this particular niche. He literally, in my opinion, he kind of owns it, Jim. Would you agree? I don't know anybody. He's invented it, owned it. It's such a level. I call it heirloom art. Like, you have this and you pass it down to your grandkids, because it's like,
dude,
it's that good.
Is crazy.
You're looking it up?
I'm looking it up. That is,
isn't it amazing? Yeah, subscribe immediately.
He makes you look like you're really part of the world and the art scene. That is really amazing.
Heirloom art. Heirloom. You're showing that to your grandkids.
Thanks for watching tonight,
Grandpa.
Dustin.
Is Batman.
Shout out to you, my friend. Everyone go follow Dustin Valkyrie and just have your mind blown away.
Yeah, I was not expecting that level of quality. That is incredible.
Yeah.
Drop your links.
Yeah, drop your links, Dusty. Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, totally worth it.
Yeah, worth it for showing up, man. I appreciate you coming and watching. Last thing before we kind of start to wrap things up, I think I'd be remiss for our audience if I didn't at least ask you your opinion on the epic meteoric rise of Alex and Layla Hormozi.
Yeah.
So we talked about this a little bit on our call as well, but I would love to get your opinion. What did they do? Really? I mean, what happened here? Because it was like, I don't know who Alex is. And now it's like, I can't get my hands on enough Alex stuff.
First, I thought you were about to ask who's Andrew Tate. No, that's another guy who's figured out the game of virality. So I think it's a combination of two things. One, that guy knows who he's talking to. Mm-hmm. Deeply knows who he's talking to. And because he knows that person so well, he also knows what it is that they're looking for, what it is that they want to watch. And the content that I've seen him create, like, I think he was just able to tap into that so well and so be so unapologetic about it. And too, like, there's also part of his strategy. I know that he's not depending on pure organic. Mm-hmm. There's advertising that's being run to get visibility on those videos even more. And obviously he's doing it in a very intelligible way. But there's like, you don't have like a $150 million portfolio and not, put a little fuel to the fire. I mean, on top of the fact that he's already got a huge team that helps him to syndicate that content, which all comes back to YouTube, which then YouTube goes to acquisition.com. And I think that's the problem that most people do when they build their YouTube videos. Your YouTube videos got to be good enough to get in front of, whoever they need to get in front of for YouTube, to get them to watch more videos. But YouTube is still its own silo. And it's a big silo, but it's still its own silo. And so this is why I think doing things like creating short form content and other types of syndication are so important. So like, he's not just cranking out one video. He's cranking out one video and then 50 other different smaller short form videos that basically position that video as the thing to go watch, or just position him as someone you should go back and watch some more content from. So I think for them, it's just they're doing things at scale. Like, I think he's producing somewhere on the order from one YouTube video, somewhere on the order of like 160 pieces of content a week.
Yes, that's correct. $70,000 a month is what their team is paying.
And that's it.
What I think is interesting, if you notice his customer journey, is he's discoverable through ads and through his short form content in particular. He's very heavy on, he's across all platforms, but the ones that really get the hits right now are the short form, Reels, TikTok, and Stories. Mm-hmm. And then those are directing you to go check out the YouTube channel or acquisition.com. But I've seen more recently the YouTube channel.
Yeah, everything.
And then the YouTube channel is the hub.
Exactly.
That's the hub that delivers the main sales message. Mm-hmm. And the main sales message is, here's amazing value. If you're not making $3 million, keep watching until you do.
Mm-hmm. And when you do, go to acquisition.com and let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
He knows his customer journey. He knows his customer. He's willing to spend money on it. I mean, whether it be a team or ads, which I do believe there's ads involved to at least create like more promotion of it. He really does get his customer, and that's all that it is. Like, the reason we talk about a guy like Mr. Beast is because he also gets his customer, and that's much broader too. That's the thing that most people kind of forget. They're like, well, why didn't my YouTube video do well? I optimized it and I did everything. And I was like, because you were boring. Like, that's it. That's all that it was. You were boring, and someone watched it for a little while, and then they decided to do something else. And then YouTube took that signal and was like, people are bored of this video. And then they went and gave him another video. And then Alex's video comes up and they're like, hey, they're staying on this video for a while and they're watching other videos. I guarantee, like when I was talking to you about it, like his AVPV is probably 4. He's probably getting like, for every one video somebody watches, they're watching 4 videos from him on average.
And what's interesting about that too is that I'll watch 3 of his shorts and then I'll go watch a long one on his main page.
You're doing exactly the thing. Like he's hacked that system. He understands.
He just rocks.
And his editing is getting better. And like whoever his new team is.
Doug Boughton just picked up his YouTube guy because I guess Doug talked to him before he teamed up with Alex.
Mm-hmm.
And they were friends before he hit, because before he worked with Alex, he was, he wasn't super heights and everything. Now everyone's asking Alex, who's your YouTube guy? Everyone wants to know. So
yeah.
He's batting people down left and right now.
But I will say
Doug knew him before, so I guess Doug's gonna still work with him going forward.
I will say this. Who your YouTube guy is less important than you as the creator, because it's very easy to go take credit. And I'm not saying anything about their strategy. I know that they're great, but I believe it's very easy to take credit for meteoric rise on someone who was already going to do it.
Yeah.
There's
no doubt about it that Alex
already going to do it.
Alex is charismatic. He's got this amazing personality. He's able to describe things like you're looking at instructions to put something together. And he's talking about abstract thought ideas, and he just brings it down into like, well, you just do this, this, and this. Get out there, go do it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what? I never thought of it that way. And he knows that. And like, he's always consuming. And I heard him talk about how he reads too. He goes, I skim. He goes, I don't read anything. I skim and I look for the thing I need and I throw the book away.
Yeah.
Or I toss it on the shelf and I never look at it again. I learn to fill gaps. And that's it. So instead of reading the entirety of the book and having the risk of, doubling up on knowledge or having something contrarian to what he's already doing, he goes, no, I'm just looking for this.
Mm-hmm.
Once I found it, cool, next.
Yeah. People
thought that was so cool.
Look at a book and they think, oh, this is they basically go back to their school-based way of thinking. I've got to consume it all. And if I don't consume it all, then I failed this book and I failed myself. And which really, like, these books are just people and their conversations. And I get a chance to have a conversation with every one of them so often. When I'm curious about a thing, even if I haven't read some of these books, when I'm curious about a thing, I can go look for the thing, seek out my curiosity, find the thing that satiates that curiosity, and then I can take it out into the world and do something with it.
I love that. Well said. Awesome. Molly, John, do you guys have anything that you would like to ask the ever so amazing Lloyd Dodgen, the YouTube ads guy?
Yeah. I want to know more about what you think about YouTube Shorts and how to get more views on my YouTube Shorts.
Put out more.
Yeah.
Put out more. Yeah, just more.
I think test out 2 things. One, every YouTube video that you create, there's no reason you shouldn't be chopping that thing up, finding the hooks that are really good, and then testing and then making a bunch of those. YouTube
on the same channel or setting up a separate channel for clips?
On the same channel. Don't be afraid of it.
Okay, cool.
I think people got really scared of like, oh, I'm going to mess up my views and all this other stuff. And I don't think that's the case anymore. I think YouTube has had enough YouTube shorts to know, like, and they're even separating it. You can see it in your analytics now. So they know what's a YouTube short and what's not a YouTube short. So they understand the way that people are consuming. And then there was this whole mess about like people going like, oh, well, you're just attracting people that are into short form content and they're not into long form content. Nobody would be on YouTube if they weren't into long form content. That's where they go to TikTok for. But I will say this, as a consumer, I love YouTube Shorts as a consumer. I actually don't get on TikTok anymore. I was on TikTok and then TikTok was fun. But YouTube Shorts keeps the thing that I love about YouTube, and then I get these microcosms of thoughts and ideas from these people that I pay attention to. And even like whether it's funny or whether it's serious, I get a lot of that, and I get it in a way that I love consuming content from, which I love YouTube. And so if you can just think about the way that people are consuming content on YouTube and create your YouTube shorts according to that, that's how you're going to be fine with it. And just put it on your channel. For every one YouTube video, come out with 10, shorts that you have. They're not as hard to make. You have a few that you're taking from TikTok, putting them on there. You're taking your YouTube video and you're cutting that up and you're turning those into shorts. And then, sometimes you're just testing it out where you're in front of your camera, knowing that you're going to be testing out hook 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to have your message after. Write out your hooks. That's one thing I would say that everybody kind of misses. Write out your hooks ahead of time. The body of it's important, but the hook is more important than anything else, especially when it comes to your YouTube shorts.
And I have seen Alex use the same exact video with different hooks.
Exactly.
I've seen them posted up literally within the same day.
Because for him, it is just a testing ground to see what gets the most attention. It's, that didn't work, or, that did work. And too many people are emotionally attached to, it didn't work. Or even worse, it did work, and then they're like, and then their whole life is like now based on this one video that did well.
Right. What I thought was interesting that Alex said also is that he uses TikTok as his proving ground to make his shorts. So he'll make a little blurb, just like that's where he just dumps mind thoughts. And then the ones that do over a certain threshold, he makes into shorts. Yeah,
so that's what I was saying. Like, take some of your TikToks that are doing well, bring them over to your shorts.
Or not TikToks, I'm sorry, Twitter.
Yeah,
Twitter, excuse me.
TikToks that are doing well and bring them. Yeah, Twitter is definitely a place to basically dump all of your thoughts.
That's what he says he does. He just uses it as like a depository or whatever.
Yeah, my business mentor Rachel Peterson does that all the time. Like it's all of her thoughts all the time on Twitter. Whichever ones take off, that becomes content for other things to be made. Yeah, because the thing is that everything in Twitter lives for like 15 seconds. It all it's once it's consumed and it's gone, it's in the cosm that is Twitter, and you never know about it ever again.
Well said.
So John, I would say, like, don't be afraid to be getting your shorts on your channel. Test them out. Run as many as you can. Yeah. I see people build 10 million plus subscriberships with just shorts alone.
That's insane.
Yeah, right. and people you would never know. Foot doctors.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm serious. Foot doctors.
I mean, if Pimple Popper can make it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That makes it way better with that tiny head you have going on right now. Right. You're like,
John, what you got, man? You got a question?
So, a friend of ours is very close to a product launch, and he's got a following on YouTube. We've already talked about him. We've already highlighted him. He's put his links in the. So, if he was looking to kind of maximize his product launch, I think he's got a few thousand on YouTube.
You're talking about Dustin
Valkema. Yes.
Could we toss up his? Yeah, there we go.
Like, just any advice for like someone who's literally on the cusp of saying, "I got here's my store. I'm ready to rock." He's got a bit of an audience, and he's just trying to figure out how to monetize like what he's been working so hard on. His thing is, I think he's in education. I told him, like, education, man, you got to do that. But he's got assets. He's actually got overlays and all that beautiful smoke and capes and all that fun stuff that you're seeing in some of those
fire,
images.
rain, water, electricity,
and like just
all sorts of stuff.
Coming from like the guy who's like a cinematographic eye, that's what kind of my little. This stuff is like off the chart quality. It's really good. It's like literally as good as anything you'd see in a movie, and just trying to figure out like, okay, like, yeah, what's the best way to sort of, if you were to kind of work with a guy like that or campaign with a guy like that, is it what's the content, what's the target, how can he just sort of figure out that question of what those metrics need to be? Where do you start it, basically?
Well, I can say the easiest, lowest hanging fruit for him is taking his entire YouTube channel within his Google Ads, and connecting both of them. Every time you build a Google Ads account, you should always connect it to your YouTube account, especially if you're building anything for your channel. And then you need to start creating your buckets, your custom audiences based on people that are actually not only subscribed, but watching and have visited your channel. Those people right there, anybody who's interacted with his content on any level, those are the very first people he could start serving up an ad to. And getting them into, talk like, and it doesn't even have to be like an ad where he's having a big ask. It could be an ad where he's teaching. It could be an ad where he's just getting people hyped up within a very short piece of time, about the next thing. It all depends. Budget is also, another factor, but we don't have to get too much into that. But yeah, like he could immediately, like with 8,000 people with 238,000 views on his YouTube channel. Yeah, I would definitely focus on getting some retargeting ads on people who have interacted with my channel and watched my stuff.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got great. I mean, you see his channel. His products are even better.
And I would look at like within his analytics, and I would go back and be like, cool, let's go into our audience research within the analytics. What are people searching for that are getting people to my channel? What are my top videos over the past 28 days? And then see like what are the views on that and what are the titles? Those titles are great keywords to start off with. What are the tags for those videos that I have that are popping off really well? Those, like, he's got enough data where he kind of knows where to start, whether it's a Google ad or a YouTube ad. And then I recommend the last thing, and this may be, a little counterintuitive. I would just recommend anything that you get people to click through from your YouTube ad, retarget with Facebook.
Interesting.
I always love YouTube as a cold targeting platform and Facebook as a retargeting platform versus Facebook as a cold targeting platform. Because you can remarket it so well. So it's like once you got the attention because you built the trust with video, they clicked on the link to go to some landing page. Now it's just a matter of continuing to follow up with them until they take the action so you can get your 7+ touch points.
Interesting, because Dustin is like all YouTube. He is on Facebook, but I don't, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Dustin, but you don't really sell or even let people know what you do on YouTube, on Facebook. It'd be really interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah. I mean, does he have like a service? I mean, I assume he has like a service that he provides, right?
Yeah. He helps out people to,
I see he's got like composite packs for
he teaches them how to start out with composite photography, how to utilize the packs that he has.
Yeah, it's got one-on-one mentorship and everything. So I mean, everything that people watch, once if he's getting them to click, and it could be like too that he's getting them to go click on a completely free workshop. I'm not asking you to buy anything. I just want you to go see how I did this cool thing with this composite video. You've seen this one, go learn how I do it. And then anybody who clicks that, like, just retarget those people. You could spend $5 a day with Facebook ads retargeting and just be able
which is kind of what we're doing now.
Yeah. You don't need a big budget for that. And you're just picking up anybody who's still kind of like on the fence about whatever your offer is.
Sweet. Love it. So Dusty, you got hooked the hell up. Shout out to you, man. Good Lord. So Dustin, you've been followed by Lloyd, so now you have to go find Lloyd and follow him. It's only fair.
Yeah. I'm officially subscribed.
All right. So Dustin, it's reciprocal, okay?
But yeah, man, like, dude, you got a good channel, dude. 4,800 views over the last 30 days. Like, you got 220 views on average gained a day. You're getting like anywhere from like 3 to 10 subscribers every single day. Like, you haven't been posting in a while, but that's that happens to the best of us.
He's been building. He's been putting together his new pack.
Yeah.
So
don't forget to continue to get in front of your audience consistently while you're building. Don't let building be the thing that stops you from maintaining your visibility, because it's easier to have built the relationship ahead of time and then have the ask versus put all this time into the ask and then start building the relationship.
You're so right. That's a mic drop moment if I've heard one. Absolutely. All right. Well, Molly, this has been absolutely incredible. Lloyd, where can people find you?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody wants, they can find me on Facebook. You can always friend me there. You can always PM me. We can start a conversation. Yep. Happy
All
to.
right.
You can soon.
Any website or anything, or even your
Yeah,
YouTube channel is just Lloyd
my
Dodgen?
developer is finishing up our site right now. But
Okay.
our site, the YouTube ads guy, will be up live within the next week.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
And
All right.
like you can opt into whatever we have. Like I know I have a case study about one of the clients that we were able to get them sub $5 leads to their live event, with over $130,000 spent in ad spend. Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
Very profitable for them. So yep. And then obviously I'm working on my own YouTube channel and putting together my content, to do the same. So let's all get out there and build our visibility.
I love it. I love it. All right. Any closing remarks, John?
Well, I mean, just thanks so much. This is like I'm like a baby entrepreneur guy, and I'm just so impressed with the people that they've been bringing here to educate me and all these other people that are learning these things. So it's fantastic to kind of see it because Dustin and I talk. There's people that talk, but you're just kind of like just hearing it and seeing it and understanding it is very very much appreciated. So thank you.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that the world is too small of a place to just not be sharing information. Like you should be sharing anything you have. Like you're not gonna somehow hurt yourself by giving value and telling people how to do things, and providing them with insight and teaching and education. That's the only way that we move forward by, like, Newton said it. The only reason I've seen as far as I have is because I stood on the shoulders of giants. Like that's life.
I love the part where you said I just got the book and I did things with it. And I know that's Hormozy, but you said the same thing. I went to a really expensive private institution, lots of years and years of economics, all this stuff. You come out, you don't know how to invest the stock, like you know how to and then you go out and you get this by Dad, what book should I buy? Oh, it's How to Make Money in Stocks by William J. O'Neill, the Investor in Business Daily. Can Slim. So you read the book. You get the crap you need, and then you find Monster and Apple and all these stocks. So it works exactly like how it says it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
It's amazing the amount of information for $14. I probably made tens of thousands just because the information was exceptionally easy to get a hold of.
It's one of the reasons I think college is in trouble, man. I got out of college, and the information I knew, I went to get my first internship. I learned Maya in college, which is a 3D software.
Yeah, I know Maya.
And I went into my first job, and they're like, "We're a Max house. You have 2 weeks to learn it." They go, "You have 2 weeks to learn it." I learned it. I got the job. I started my career. But everything I learned in school, I didn't use.
Yeah.
I didn't use it.
And you probably went to YouTube in order to learn how to use Maya.
Absolutely. I actually ended up hiring one of my coworkers to stay after with me. I paid him. I was a free internship. I paid him to stay after with me to teach me the ropes of this new world. And it worked.
Yeah.
I already had a coach before I even know what the hell coaching was. Because I was like, he knows and he makes ridiculous money. I want to learn from him. It was as simple as that.
No, that just shows your wisdom, man. Because we have to accept one simple thing in life. We don't know crap.
That's it.
Yeah. For as much as we think we know, for as smart as we think we are, for as brilliant as we want to tout ourselves to be, the fact is, with the grand scope of all the information that has ever existed in this entire universe, we don't know squat. But the great part is that some people know certain things that we need to know. And we can go and ask them. We can go and pay them. And we can go and get on a podcast like this and learn a few things that we never knew before. And speed up the process of us getting to the place where we want to be, which is not learning the thing, but it's being the thing.
If you weren't already, I'd say you got a really good future in entrepreneurship.
Hashtag facts.
I like you.
Unagi. Salmon skin roll. For any of you who are old enough to remember Friends.
Yes. But I got all the love in the world for you, man. Anytime I see up anything that's like, hey, can you help me with YouTube? I will always be the first to jump on there and say, Lloyd, you guy. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming out and being on the show tonight. I know that our audience has really appreciated it. We have appreciated it. And we hope you come back.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, man, for having me on. Thank you for everything you guys are doing. This is brilliant. You know, from X's and O's to this, it's amazing to see like how much everything has grown. I remember in the beginning trying to get all the Zoom things all together.
It gives me anxiety just thinking about that.
Like
you know
seeing the intro of what this was, I was like, oh man, this is next level. So my hat's off to you, man. You're doing amazing things.
Appreciate you, sir. Molly, would you please close this out?
Heck yeah. Well, my friends, thank you all so much for joining us tonight and this week for our favorite show on the entire internet, Friday Night Live. Well, I will see you guys on Monday for another episode of the live show. You do not want to miss this episode. The interview I have, I'm not going to tell you who it is because you're going to have to log in to check it out. You can watch it on our Facebook page, on our Facebook group, that's the word, and on our YouTube channel. And of course, I will chop it up and make it into shorts because I'm using what I learned tonight and putting it into action. Let us know in the comments how you're putting what you learned tonight into action. And I will see you guys when we see you. We love you. Be excellent to each other. And just go live. People are out there and they are waiting for you. Peace.